finally, we got Daredevil back in the suit. I was going nuts watching this show. Of course, this is my review of episodes 5 and 6, spoiler review, so if you've not seen the show yet, do not move forward. But yeah, this show was driving me nuts. How much Daredevil was not in the suit. Obviously, it was super choppy. I understand what they're going for, and I understand that, Matt Murdock on his own is an interesting character, and him being a lawyer is honestly just as important as a Daredevil character. But holy shit, 6 episodes in, and I almost don't even count that opening fight because it's so obvious they added that fight scene in after making the show and realizing, like, holy shit, Daredevil's not in the show at all. But yeah, episodes 5 and 6. Episode 5 is like a bank robbery scene or a bank robbery episode. I thought this was a good episode. Again, another episode of him, showing how he's still competent outside of the suit, which makes sense because the suit isn't like an Iron Man suit. It's not, it does have advantages, but he still could do a lot of things outside of it. My favorite part of this episode was Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan's father, being in it. Again, this is the second time that the show is kind of like creating through lines between the MCU. Of course, the Prisoner in the last week's episode mentioned the Skrull, and now we're getting Kamala Khan's father. And so now we know that Daredevil knows about Miss Marvel, which makes sense because she's in Jersey City. And I think this is actually important because, again, going back to WandaVision, and I always talk about this, it drives me nuts that WandaVision took place in New Jersey, and Doctor Strange is in New York City, and he doesn't just cross the bridge and take care of it. So whenever there's geography, distance involved, and they're very close by, I think they should know about each other. And it's simple things like this that the MCU just hasn't been doing, and I don't know why. It's so easy to just connect characters like this, make little cameos. Of course, I wish Spider-Man appeared in the show, but I don't expect him to, and that's a discussion for another day, but I just think it's super disappointing that with all the resources Disney has, that doesn't seem possible. Going into episode 6, we get more of Muse, the new villain, who is almost like Banksy, if you know about Banksy, like the street artist, almost like an evil version of him. And we find out that he's been painting in his victim's blood, so, and he does this, he puts this chemical on it, so it's impossible to wash off. And I guess Muse, it'll be interesting because he'll be like a Daredevil villain, but also be a villain with the Kingpin because he's making the Kingpin look bad. And then finally, at the end of the episode, we get Daredevil confront Muse, get into a fight. Muse seems to escape, even though he loses the fight. And Kingpin finally gets a little bit violent with the guy who he's keeping hostage. And it's kind of like mirroring the two of them kind of lose their cool at the same time. And I'm just hoping the end of this, the end episodes are more action-packed. I just want to see Daredevil doing cool shit. And this is such a common theme, in superhero content in general, is that so often that someone's scenes are better in a different project than their own. Say what you want about She-Hulk, but Daredevil, his suit was awesome, and he had some great fight scenes in that. I thought he was way more acrobatic in that than in this show. And then even, like I always talk about Black Panther. Black Panther's, I think, best scenes are in Civil War, even though that's not his own movie. That version of him, I should say. I think that's the best version of him. He gets a little bit softer in Black Panther. And I guess my other takeaway from this is, I know it's a superhero show and he has special abilities, but it seems like they're really overdoing it. This is nitpicking, with his ability to hear. I know he has special hearing ability, but they're almost making him like Superman in a way, where he's able to hear things, like blocks away and inside doors and stuff. So I think that's a little bit wonky. But overall, I think this is a solid show. I think hopefully they stick to landing. Again, it's just a reintroduction to the character. I think there's a lot more to do. Hopefully, I think Season 2 will be a lot stronger and I think the writing will be stronger and it won't be as choppy. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. That's my review of episodes 5 and 6. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.